Hey there, my name is Brandon Barnes with the Homebuyers Network. If you're watching this video, that means you probably saw the link in our YouTube video or you saw it on Facebook and you're wondering how we make our offer. Guess what? I'm here to solve that problem. Homebuyers Network is a real estate investment company and we buy homes every day for cash. We solve problems like inheritance, we solve problems like code violation, high repairs, tenants, tax liens, foreclosure, you name it. If it can be done, we'll figure it out. But one of the biggest questions that we get from sellers just like you, from our postcards, from Facebook, is how do we make our offer? How do we make it over the phone, especially without seeing the house? Well, obviously, we need some information from you, but it's a pretty simple math problem that's something that myself or my team go through, and we're here to help you with that today. So the first thing that we have to come up with, where you and I are going to agree, is what is the value of your house if it was fixed up to its max capacity, what is called the ARV. And so for this scenario, we are going to go with $200,000. So that means at this point, you and I have talked on the phone, we've walked the house, we've done something to agree that your house is worth $200,000 if we fix it up. Next, we need to talk about the repairs. Here, you and I are going to again agree, and the biggest thing is that it's got to make sense for both of us. You and I are going to agree, what is it going to take to get the house to $200,000 status? Do I need granite? Do I got to blow out a wall? Do I got to paint? Do I need to do hardwood? What do we have to do? So for this instance, let's say it's going to take us $30,000. I know that seems like a lot. I'll cover that in another video on what we actually do for a house, but a lot of times this number is not that far off. But just for an example, let's use $30,000 to get your house to $200,000 in value. The next thing that we have to factor in is what is it going to cost us to buy your house? One of the cool things about being a real estate investor, you don't pay any closing costs when we buy your house. So we take care of your closing costs. We can take care of your back taxes. We can take care of prorated taxes. You name it, if it's in the negotiation, the price you and I come up with, that's yours to go home with. And so, generally, it costs us about $4,000 in closing cost. So that is the buying closing cost. This number is all determined by your taxes and different things that are associated with the property. Next, the commission that generally a seller does not want to pay is something that we have to absorb when we try to sell the house for $200,000. So we're going to come here and write in our 6% commission, because when you sell a property on a retail market, the seller and the listing agent are the person tasked with the 6% commission. Yeah, you can negotiate it, but in the market right now, 6% is kind of pretty standard what you're going to have to pay. So right here, we're going to be at $12,000. The next thing we need to talk about is what is it going to cost us to sell the house. So think about it. When you bought this house and you and your realtor were negotiating it in the trenches, figuring out what am I going to do to buy this house, did you ask for any repair costs, any closing costs, any prorations, anything like that? Well, guess what? When we sell the house, we get the same questions. So a lot of times we have a percentage that we have to factor into that. And so it's usually about 3% is what we end up having to pay in selling cost. So that's another $6,000 that we have to there. The next thing that we have to talk about is what's called holding cost. Even though we're taking care of your mortgage payment potentially, we still have what's considered a mortgage payment from private lenders and different things like that, which provide us the cash to buy your property. So we have a monthly payment that we have to make to maintain the house. We also pay taxes, insurance, utilities, and certain things like that. And so generally for a property like this, depending on interest rates, it's a little over $1,000 a month. So, and then we hold every property or budget every property for 6 months. We're a company, everything's on a projection sheet, and so we look at it for 6 months. And so we're going to come here and we're going to talk holding cost. So it's about $8,000 on a $200,000 house based on repairs and what we buy the house for. This number can go up or down a little bit. So next, this comes up with this number. So right here if we do all of these things and sell this house for $200,000, this is what we would get right here. So 200,000 minus 30 minus 4 minus 12 minus 6 minus 8. So pretty simple, 20, 30, $60,000. So right here is $140,000. So there we go. If we sell a $200,000 house, this is what we would get into our account, into escrow, after everything was all said and done. Now, we have to talk about what our profit is. And so we are a for-profit business. I'm completely transparent in hopes that you as a seller is transparent with us as well. I have a family, I have kids, our teammates have family, they have kids, they need paychecks, we have marketing costs, we have taxes, we have everything that's associated with running a business. And so generally, on our properties, we have a $20,000 profit number built in. Now hold on, I know you're thinking, you're gonna make $20,000 flipping a house? I wish it was that nice. $20,000, that's what we pay our taxes out of. That's what we send our postcards out of. That's what we do our Facebook marketing out of. That's where we pay our team members. That's where we do all those things that are associated with $20,000. And then if you think about it, we've held the house for 6 months, so we're making about $3,000 a month. So it's about a $36,000 a year salary. And so that's how we come up with our salary, or our offer. And so we'll simply subtract that, and we come up with $120,000 is what our fair all cash offer would be to you as a seller. I hope this helps explain some of the questions that you may have and how do we get to where we're at. If you have any questions though, please don't hesitate to reach out to us on Facebook, our YouTube channel, or at hbnmarketplace.com. Again, my name is Brandon Barnes. Thanks, appreciate you watching the video and following us on YouTube.